Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. Just finished my run this morning, back here in Tampa, getting ready to pack up and go to San Diego. And I was thinking about a topic today that I think a lot of people probably are curious about, have some misunderstandings about, which is the idea of respect. So let me ask you a question. Do you feel like people honestly respect you? That's question one, especially the people that should respect you the most, right? The people around you. If you're a guy, if you're married, do you feel like your wife or your girlfriend respects you? Or do you feel like people mostly disrespect you? In your work, you feel like your boss respects you, your coworkers respect you, or you feel disrespected? And another way to say this is unappreciated, that people don't see your value and your worth. Now, for most people, I'm going to challenge to say that this is true. For guys especially, respect is an important thing, right? It's sort of built into our psyche as something that we feel like we need to have. And if we don't have respect, we can do some pretty crazy things. We can get into sort of a crisis mode. So today, I'm going to talk about how to gain respect and what it really is. So, if you are curious, let's first define what respect is, right? So, what is respect? There's a couple ways to gain respect. I think I did a video about how to have power, which is similar. I talked about fear as being one of them. But power is not the same as respect, and fear doesn't always, it's one way that people gain respect, but it does not mean that you have respect. Respect is essentially, and this is how you have to think about it, because this is the same way that you'll get it. First of all, it's something that has to be earned. And second of all, it's something that you can't try to earn. You gain respect by being who you are, being the kind of person you are, and not trying to please anyone, not trying to gain someone's favor, not trying to manipulate a situation. It's just about being who you are and not caring what people think, but being the kind of person who you are cares about people in general, right? This is how you gain respect. It's having a mission, it's having a purpose. You don't gain respect by showing respect. This is a misconception, right? A lot of people say, well, you gain respect by showing respect first. Not true. What you gain with that is a mutual agreement and understanding. If you show respect to someone in order to gain respect, you're going to get the opposite, right? Because what's going to happen is they're going to sense that, and people are smart. We have all kinds of, we're masters of unconsciously evaluating a person and determining their motives, and we might not know it at a logical level, but we know it at a deep level. We know when someone's not being genuine. We know when someone is trying to manipulate us in some way, even if we don't know what the manipulation is. Sometimes we still give into it because we feel like the reward is better, or it plays to our vanity, and we choose to believe lies, flattery. But we all know when someone's doing that. So when you try to gain respect by giving respect specifically for that purpose, you do the opposite. You devalue yourself because it's not true. Anything that you do that is not true to yourself is something that causes people to disrespect you. Think about the people that you disrespect. It's not whether they're good or bad, right? It's whether they are in line with their own values. So, and that they have a strong sense of what their values are. People you disrespect are going to be people who either don't have values, or you constantly see them violating those values or having double standards and letting themselves off the hook, having a different set of values for the external world, but holding themselves by yet another set of values. So that takes us back to respect. So if you want to gain respect, you can't try to gain respect. What you have to try to do instead is to figure out, what are your values, what is your purpose, what are you going to do, and then choose to live that way and not care what other people say, what they do. It doesn't mean ignore them. It doesn't mean don't be responsive. It doesn't mean don't be perceptive. It means that doesn't influence it. You're not trying to garner popular opinion by changing your actions to match what you perceive other people want your actions to be, or the kind of person that you think other people want you to be in order to gain something from them. And a lot of times that something is respect. So let's apply this practically. In your situation, maybe you're at work and you're not respected. What can you do about that? Well, you can stop trying to do what a lot of people do, which is get angry and say, you don't respect me. Maybe you don't say those words, but you convey that meaning by the way that you talk, by the way that you act, by being upset and showing that upset, by feeling like you're disrespected and making people aware of it, by trying to show your authority or assertiveness, or trying to show that you are capable. All this is things that you're trying to do to prove to someone else something, as opposed to being true to yourself. So what can you do instead? Instead, you can decide, what is your mission? What is your purpose? What values do you hold? What do you consider to be high values? And then simply live by those and not violate those, and make that clear. Don't let people step into your boundaries. Have clear boundaries. You will not tolerate this type of behavior. Someone speaks to you in a certain way. You don't have to take it. You don't have to unleash on them, but you can be assertive and firm and say, I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to stand here and listen to this. Right? You don't have to be upset. You don't even have to show anger. You don't have to inspire fear, but you have to be clear that you have a boundary and you will not tolerate that. You don't even have to say those words. Don't say, I will not tolerate. That will undermine what you're trying to do often, because then it becomes a show of you trying to show your assertiveness or show that you're worthy of respect, which always fails. In relationship, let's shift that gear. Your girlfriend or your wife disrespects you. What does that mean? What do you do? Do you say, I'm not going to tolerate this, and you can't treat me like that. I'm a grown man. Don't call me bitch. It's a reference from a Will Ferrell clip. Anyway, what can you do? You can, if you're a guy, I'm talking to guys mostly here, right? You can be the kind of man that you should be. Not trying to please everyone all the time. Not trying to show how worthy of respect you are, but just being. Just having boundaries, just not tolerating things that violate your boundaries, by being gentle but strong at the same time. It's hard to do when you're constantly insulted. Someone who's worthy of respect to a woman is someone who is not easily shaken, who is strong, because they can't be hurt. Words aren't going to hurt you, right? You're tough. You're fine. You're strong. You're okay with it, and the reason why is not because, oh, it's weak to cry, it's weak to have emotions. It's not that. It's that when you're sure of yourself, when you know who you are and what you're doing, you have a mission, you have a purpose, what someone says, you can shrug it off. It spills right off of you. It doesn't stick, right? It rolls right off, because you know your purpose, you know your mission, you know what you're supposed to do, you know who you are. So that's it. And when you start living your life that way, all of a sudden, all these people that didn't respect you, they're gonna respect you. And sometimes when you do this, you're gonna get into confrontations, because you're not gonna be afraid to get in confrontations. See, someone who isn't worthy of respect, they're gonna be a peacemaker all the time, I'm not saying to start fights and to be super aggressive, but I'm saying that someone who's a peacemaker all the time is afraid to have conflict. They try to resolve conflicts before they start, not because that's the best solution for everyone, but because they don't want to get involved in that. They don't want to have a chance to show their weakness. They don't want to, they're trying to please people, and you can't be that. It's not a true expression of yourself. If you're hiding, if you're letting people come over your boundaries, if you're hiding who you are, if you're afraid of that because you're trying to gain people's respect, or you're trying to game the system, it's not going to work. People know what is genuine. So, long talk, but I mean, there's still definitely more to say about gaining respect. But if you're trying to gain respect, if you feel disrespected, I want you to stop trying to gain respect. Stop trying to do that. Instead, try to be confident with who you are and what your purpose and what your mission is, and know what it is, and know your values, and live by those values, and don't let people violate those values, and don't violate them yourself. Just be a firm force that's immovable, that is what it is. So you are a rock, and that's it. It doesn't bend, it doesn't break. All right. If you like this video, subscribe.